I live too.
Yay,
And
we're live.
so, all right, I guess I should start the recording then.
Yeah.
All right. What is up, nice people? I'm Matt. That's also Matt, formerly Ben, but that doesn't work anymore with our intro because we are the Wrestling Mats.
Yeah.
So we're going to go by our actual names here, Matt.
Wow.
And we have a lot of stuff to talk about because there's a lot of wrestling that took place over the weekend, and we just finished up Raw for July 14th as well. So we want to keep this short and sweet, but there's a lot to talk about, so we should just jump right on in. Where do you want to start?
Uh Man, it could go anywhere, but the one thing jumping out at me is getting stabbed in the forehead with a fork.
Okay, so you want to start there. Okay, we can start with AEW.
Friggin' ow.
Yeah, that was brutal. That match was brutal
You're
all the
getting
way around.
gigged in your friggin' dome with a fork. Look.
Yeah,
And boy, the blood flow there. Sheesh.
yeah, it was brutal. Um, that whole card was fantastic. It was incredibly long, but fantastic. Um, I, I was the only one that actually out of the group saw it, so I did my best to send you and had you see all the clips you could. But
Yeah.
uh, they put on a phenomenal show. It was just like 5.5 hours long or some nonsense. Um, so, and I think it equated to like 10 hours long if you did the pre-show and the media scrum.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
whew,
5 hours of the actual show, and then 3 hours of Tony Khan talking.
yeah.
Kept going back to it when it was just him at the end going like, he's still fucking talking. Jesus.
I mean, he had a lot of questions to answer, and they got to the media scrum by a decent hour as opposed to 1 a.m. like they usually do. So,
Also, if this is like their WrestleMania type show, this is the one you do it at. So it
yeah,
makes
and that's
sense in a way.
as a fan, I'm glad they finally decided which one there was a WrestleMania show because it was way too undefined prior to this. Is it double or nothing? Is it all in? Is it all out? Is it this one? Is it that? You know, we knew it was one of those three or four, but it never really was defined which one it is. Now we know it's that one. That's their WrestleMania essentially, and it was fantastic. And that phew, every match was pretty good. We had some great returns on that show. Juice Robinson or Bo Dallas, if you're more of a WWE guy. He was Bo Dallas, essentially. That's how he looked too right now. Juice Robinson looked like Bo Dallas. I can't think of what his name on NXT was, though. The hell was his name on NXT?
Oh, I
I'll have to
don't.
look it up. Juice had a name on NXT, but now he came back without his beard, so he looks like Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
Believe. But
Yeah, I
um,
don't. I wouldn't
then
know.
Billy Gunn's kids came back.
Hmm.
That was really cool to see them come back. Um, I was sad not to see Ruby come back because we know she's training, but we did see Harley come back. Uh, Brian Danielson came back to help in the main event uh, after essentially being retired,
Yeah,
but he came back to help with this one.
what was he doing there? He was like the blue mask guy. Is that something from his past that I'm unfamiliar with?
I don't know what the mask is from. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
I
because
should.
I saw that mask. I'm like, well, I know he had the one thing I'm forgetting the name of it. I know Punk brought it up when he was in the WWE, just like saying, "I liked your name like that." Um, but I was pretty sure like this blue mask wasn't a part of that.
Not that I could think of. Like I remember him as the Dragon, and as he had matches at PWG with Kenny Omega. That's where the whole John Jingleheimer, "Your Name Is My Name" skit came from. That
Okay.
they're known for was PWG in that scenario. But I don't have any recollection of this mask in his career, and it very well may have, but I just might be blanking on it. Yeah, that was the main event. You had the two major things, which was Swerve and three major things. Mercedes finally loses to Tony Storm in a hell of a match. Then you had the Bucks lose their EVP status in a hell of a tag team match against Swerve and Will Ospreay.
That
That was
that
all
one
action.
that one Instagram clip of them where it's uh, just constant move after move, and it's not sloppy. It's like perfectly well like
Mm-hmm.
choreographed where you're going through and you're halfway through this thing and going like, how the hell did they choreograph that? Like how do you remember that and get that perfect and the timing and all that? The only thing that it got where it was just like wasn't absolutely super smooth was when they went for the double Canadian destroyer, which they basically reversed those as well. So that
Yep.
was the only part where it's like, oh, okay, they slowed down for a second because they gotta get their positioning right and go for it, and that was it. I mean, it was like a second and a half of get the positioning right and keep going.
Yep.
And insane.
That's why so many people talk about them as being spot monkeys, essentially. And I look at you and go, yes, their whole matches of spots, but they get to their spots so fluidly that I can't call them that. Like it flows so well that it's not like when you're sitting there watching I don't care which brand, I don't care whatever. It could be an indie show, it could be a WWE show, it could be an AEW show, and you're watching, you're like, oh, they're moving that to set that move up, to set that move up, and I see it coming a mile away. Whereas with the Bucks, almost as long as the talent is good, whether it's the Lucha Bros back in the day, whether it's FTR, whether it's Osprey and Swerve, like they move in a way that it's just this insane choreographed spot, like the whole match. And
Yeah.
I don't, I it's just that's the reason why I'm like I actually absolutely love these guys is because they're that good at setting their whole match up that way. So, um, but yeah, that was a fantastic match. And then the main event was is uh, do we get to see the AEW title belt again? Does it see the light of day for the first time in forever? And finally, they righted the wrong from the Double or Nothing I went to. That's when Hangman lost his title. And I thought he was a great representation at the time for the title. I thought he was great for the company because he was young talent. They loved him. He was a good worker, had a great move set. Pretty much Logan Paul's move set now is what he was doing. Um, and they saw the money on the wall. I don't know, money. They saw the chance to cash in with Punk. And I was in that audience going, dude, it's it's 50-50, but the WWE fans are louder than the AEW fans. Punk is leaving with this damn belt. And sure enough, Punk left with the belt, and Hangman kind of got buried. Now, they've had other great champions in there, too. Swerve is another one. Swerve could be champion, and I think could run that company for a year, two, no problem, where he's the champion. I think Swerve's a great, great option as well. So I think Swerve and Hangman are going to have battles for that title in the foreseeable future. So, ain't overly concerned about that. It was a nice touch too. I didn't catch it, but they had. I think it was Daniel Bryan was the last one who had the belt before Moxley. His side plates were still on the belt when it came out of the briefcase. Like the whole
Oh.
point of Moxley was to. It wasn't a blessing to have the title. Um, it was a responsibility. And so he never wanted to like display the belt, do this with the belt. His was like, we need to make this company want this belt. And if you ain't willing to sacrifice getting your face forked to death, then you don't deserve the belt, essentially, was his perspective. And so he didn't show the belt off ever. So having the original plates on it from the person he beat was a really nice touch. So, but that match was the epic culmination of everything. We saw Darby come back out. You had Osprey come out at first. Swerve seemingly burying the hatchet with Hangman, and Daniel Bryanson coming out, all to help Hangman reclaim his belt. it was this epic thing at the end. So the only thing left is how long is the Death Riders going to take a break? Do they come back on Dynamite and try to reclaim their belt immediately or reclaim anything immediately? Or do they just kind of chill for a couple months and come back later on? That's the only question I have, really. But
Yeah, I'm not sure how they do their storylines because I haven't been watching them enough recently to have any idea.
yeah, typically their storylines aren't great. That's my biggest problem with the companies. I feel like their storylines are a bit um, unconnected at times, and only certain characters have really well written storylines. But Moxley can do whatever he wants, so I'm interested to see how if this is break time for Moxley or if he jumps right back in and starts coming up with a new angle. I hope it's break time. Moxley's been working a lot too, so hopefully Moxley and those guys get a break, and we see some of the younger, not so much younger talent, but the non WWE talent push the limits a little bit here. The Ospreys, the Swerves, the Hangmans. Let those guys carry some weight and try to build up this company because I'd like to see the company for which it was to start with, which was wrestlers that weren't all from WWE, but
Mm-hmm.
they kind of went that way after a while because as they were cut, they got signed and immediately just it became Punk and Moxley. And Moxley's been great. He's an exception to the rule. And Cesaro's been great too. But there's a lot of that. They picked up a lot of talent as they got cut.
So if that talent, say, had been in WWE, but now it's been with AEW longer than they were with WWE,
Only a
you,
few of them have been.
I was gonna say, like, for those few, do you still count them as just it's WWE talent just because they were former?
I
Do you?
don't count them that way if they seem to roll with what AEW does.
Because it
And
seems
what
like
I'm
Moxley and Sasha Banks are like the only two I can think of that have those time elements where they've been with AEW longer, I believe.
Sasha or Mercedes Monet,
Hmm.
um, I don't think she's been with that company longer yet. Um,
Well,
she's
if she's been with the company longer than 5 years, she would be because she debuted 10 years ago with WWE.
correct. And then she was there for, I want to say 5 to 6. And then
Okay.
she didn't work for a year.
Oh, all right.
Well, I don't know if about a full year, but she then did New Japan first because she was either wanted to be and only was acquaintances or actually was friends with Kenny Omega at first. So she jumped into New Japan for a while and did
Gotcha.
that. And it was a few months after that that she eventually made her debut with AEW. In fact, I'm pretty sure Soraya might have been with AEW officially before Mercedes was.
So she's still going to get the schism of being ex WWE at this point.
Not from me, but yes, I could see that.
A lot of people still
Well, they
go
wanted to
with
go
that.
back. A lot of people wanted to go back because
Is it?
her ties to to Bailey and everybody else.
Yeah. Because it seems like Moxley, like, it seems like he gets to avoid that schism now, finally, as finally being seen as like a misfit of WWE. Like, sure, he was with the power group with Seth and Roman and all
The
that,
Shield.
and they just didn't utilize him to his full potential when they split the group. He was kind of. It seems like WWE always treated him like third banana, and then he goes and does this, and
He tried to
essentially finds himself.
correct, and I think that's to a degree, but I think a lot of people may not remember, or maybe they just don't think of it very much. But he wanted to have his old indie style back,
Mm-hmm.
and so he immediately went off and joined AEW. Don't get me wrong, but he spent a good probably first 2 years of AEW also doing the indie circuit. He
Yeah.
showed up at GCW. He showed up at places like that and had death matches um, that he had no business that he didn't have to do. He's Moxley. I don't care if he's with AEW or not. He doesn't have to do those matches. He wanted to do those matches to kind of reinvent himself. And now
Yeah.
he is kind of like the hardcore guy in AEW, which is why he has these matches like the Texas Death Match he just had, and he's the one who lands on the barbed wire bat thing a couple weeks ago, gets it stuck in his back.
Oh yeah, that. Jeez.
Yeah, so he
God, that
brought
was
that
nasty.
character into reality by once he left. He didn't just do AEW, he did a bunch of indie stuff and went through that process and reformulated himself and reinvented himself that way. I think that's another reason why, not just because he's passed the duration of time with WWE that he's had there with AEW now, it's because he reinvented himself as a complete character. And same with Sasha, to be honest with you. Mercedes going to New Japan and then making an already large character larger than life. Like her first New Japan show, her hair's blue and she had flames into it and stuff like that. Like she took a character that's already been known for being over the top and made her more over the top.
Yeah.
She went from being the boss to the CEO, and her entire entrance music, as much as I don't like it, is just CEO over and over again. So she literally gets the crowd to chant CEO at her over and over and over again because her music is just that. So
Huh.
she's taken this character that was already big in terms of like its ego and just somehow found a way to morph it into something even bigger and more egotistical, so to speak. And it's working. I mean, she's got what, 6 belts or whatever. So, and that was her first loss was to Tony this past pay per view. So,
After
more
like
power to
what,
her.
1,000 wins? That was their first
Yes.
loss. That's
Yep.
insane.
Yep.
I didn't think you'd even get 1,000 matches in that amount of time, but I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, so wild to think of. So, those two, I'd say, have kind of lost the stigma. I think Ruby's another one. She was very popular in WWE as Ruby Riot, and maybe took a minute, but as she came over and reinvented herself as Ruby Soho, and then them letting her use Rancid to play her out at Double or Nothing a few years back, and just the evolution of that character, I think she's another one that's broken away from it. It's taken time, but I feel like a lot of their characters are finally feeling like AEW characters. But for a while, it's like Cesaro's dropped, pick him up. Brian Danielson's not cleared there, pick him up. Uh, Edge, Christian, Jericho, Moxley, Athena. Athena's another one too that they picked her up, and I thought they were going to put her right on the main roster. And she has been the forever champ of ROH
It almost
forever.
like I think in a way, what you saying they leave, pick them up is a little bit deceiving for some. For Christian, I always got the impression that he purposely left WWE for them because it was another one where they weren't taking him seriously as really a singles competitor, and then he came over to AEW, and another person I think found himself because he was actually given that freedom to go in the way he wanted to go.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Um, I don't necessarily know. I have to think back to what he was doing. I don't even know if he was doing anything in WWE at the time. He may have just gotten the opportunity to go to AEW in general. I have to think back on that.
It might have been
But
the
this,
big problem. They might not have been using him. I mean, it's like, what the fuck?
well, he may not have even been under contract, really. But
Maybe
I
not.
don't remember for sure. But no, that goes back to what I always said with what I think works in AEW versus WWE, which is if you are creative and you want to have creative control over your character, you can do that in AEW. From what it looks like, you can't do that in WWE. So a Christian, an Edge, a Jericho, um, apparently a Ruby. We didn't know that before this, but apparently a Ruby, um, definitely a Moxley. These people don't need trips to tell them you're going to hit this step on this beat, do this on that beat, hit this here. We're going to do this promo this way. They can go out there and they can have an idea of what their character should do, and they're going to do it their way and be fine. And I think that works for some of those characters, especially people like Christian and Edge who've been around forever. They're
Yeah,
gonna love the creative freedom. They're already a mentoring type of figure just because of their time in the
I
ring.
was gonna say
And
they're probably the type to teach others what they should do with entrances, like give them ideas. What about doing this instead of that?
what we talked about it a little bit too is that so many of the youngest talent they have is in stables with older talent. So with Christian's group, he had Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. So he had Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus originally
Hmm.
in his group. Uh, and so you get those two, especially Jungle Boy, got to learn from him. Then he had Nick Wayne up until this past pay per view. Nick Wayne is a phenomenal talent. Watched him wrestle Will Ospreay a few years back. So much talent there. He's been working with Christian as like the understudy, so to speak. You saw it with Yuta going with Moxley and being part of the Death Riders. So Yuta's a young talent that got to be with a major talent. Darby, when they first started, was with Sting
Yeah.
for everything. So they kind of did do that. They kind of did like a mentoring program, and um, it seems to be working out pretty well. I can't complain. But I also think with the older personnel, before I get away from it, is they can work a schedule that works for them. WB doesn't always let their talent have a schedule that works for them. Whereas AEW was much more of we get it. You have kids, you have a life. Here's the schedule. We're going to definitely use you here or there in some storylines, but at the same time, we're not going to demand you do X amount of dates, it seems like. So it seemed like it was a better place for an older character that has their identity, that wants to be creative and to have some free time as well. So that's why I think you got so many edges and stings that really loved it at AEW.
Yeah,
So,
makes
but
sense.
I think it's getting back to what it was meant to be. I don't necessarily think it. I don't want to say it lost its way, but I think there was a time when they were picking up some of the talent, like the Punks and stuff like that. Saw the money fly in immediately because Punk is a draw,
Yeah,
but then realized if you want to build something long term, it's hard to do that around certain people. You can't build around certain people. They're great for what they are, they're the draw, but longevity wise and maybe personality wise, they're a little hard to put them in that position constantly. WWE doesn't have that problem. Punk doesn't run the show per se. You got a Punk, you got a Roman, you got Jay now, you got all these other big personalities. When Punk walked in, he took over that spot immediately, and that was the problem. You only had Mox. You could argue you had Jericho at the time. Your next biggest star was MJF. And I think MJF is infinitely talented. But
mm.
at the time, 23 or 24, somebody new to everything or just checking out AEW is going to look at Punk, look at MJF, and go, I'm going to side with Punk because Punk's the veteran of 20 plus years and I know him. And if you didn't know who MJF was, you're going to think he's a nobody, nothing. But
Yeah.
even WWE can't deny how good MJF is.
Oh no, at this point, I figure they want them.
I wouldn't. There was a bidding war, and supposedly Tony Khan just backed up the truck and said, "Here you go."
Yeah,
So,
makes sense.
but yeah, fantastic. I'm excited to see what they do next. End result is I've been a little bit hesitant on some stuff, and but after that pay per view, even though it was insanely long, I am incredibly excited about what happens next in AEW.
Yeah. Well, spent about 25 minutes on AEW. We should maybe
It was
get
a
on
five
to
and a half hour
some.
long pay per view. What do you want?
Yeah, it's true. Um, let's see here. You want to do?
Evolution.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to do Evolution or Saturday Night Main Event?
Nothing happened. Evolution.
Well,
Seth got hurt. Seth got hurt, and Goldberg put on a good match.
yeah. Oh, lot of people are still trying to give Goldberg a lot of flack, but Goldberg did good for how long that match went and didn't look like absolute dog shit throughout it. It's like
Yeah,
annoying to be that critical of
he
Goldberg
did
to that
fine.
extent. He's
He had a
fine.
good match. He had a clean jackhammer. Um, he was on point with physique. He had a fine match. I don't think anybody can honestly argue that. I think it was longer than like 87% of his matches or something like that in
Yeah.
his whole career. So,
No, sold the shit out of a brutal chop where they slowed it down and it just like
oh yeah, I
collapsed
saw the
both
still.
his pecs.
Yeah,
And he just went like, huh, okay.
yeah,
That's
no, that's
that's pretty
gonna
good
hurt.
to eat that.
Yeah, it's gonna
um,
hurt though. He's gonna feel that in the morning.
goes out the way he should in a sleeper, make him fall asleep because he's Goldberg. You gotta
Yeah,
make him
don't make
take a
him tap.
nap. Yeah, don't make him tap. Just put him out for a nap.
I
Don't.
really thought they should have cattle prodded him personally.
Yeah,
That was my
well,
thing.
Scott Hall's dead, so what are you gonna do?
I mean, it could have been a tribute to both, full circle and a tribute to Scott Hall.
I guess I'll get Kevin Nash out to do it. Fuck
Yeah,
you, Goldberg! One more
yeah,
time for Scotty. Anyways, um, and then there's of course the meme that everyone's making because his speech at the end got cut off, so everyone's making Bret Hart memes with like
yep.
you know big
You cut my career short. I'm gonna cut your speech short.
yeah bolt cutters just cutting the feed and shit. That's fucking ridiculous. Take that, Bill.
Right.
Anyways, so that's essentially what happened at Saturday Night Main Event.
And then of
Nothing
course the other one
happens.
was Seth getting hurt.
Yeah. Oh boy, got to pivot on. Well, not that bad knee, but a better knee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
that's not great. None of us were happy to see that. I don't think.
No one wants to see that, especially since it seems like it's the same combo of a move that hurt his knee last time. The senton into the lion salt again. He didn't land on his feet the last time, but he landed awfully hard on his legs and seemed to have hurt his other knee, I believe.
Just seems like he can't do those landing on his feet spots.
Right, that last time he didn't land on his feet, he landed on his legs. Like he landed like I don't want to say over rotated. He rotated fine, but his legs took the brunt of it as he was like landing for the moonsault like you normally would land for a moonsault, and it hurt his leg.
Oh, so just
This time he actually sticks the
banging it.
landing.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So no matter what he does, he's tearing up his legs.
Yep.
He's I hate to say it, but he's gonna need to like come back and just focus on keeping his ass on the ground. Like stop doing these things that are gonna tear up your legs. I know that's not his style and that's not what people love him for, but he's destroying his fucking legs. His legs are
Well,
telling him no.
right. That's be a hard thing to do. His offense doesn't have a whole lot of aerial stuff in it anymore as it is, but it would be hard to see him stay grounded. Like, where do you draw the line? Like, he could get the same type of injury doing the pop-up RKO he did at WrestleMania that one year.
Yeah.
I
I don't
mean,
know. It just his
it
legs
sucks.
are
But
falling
I think you
apart
roll
on him.
with it until you retire. I think he's made it this far in his career. He comes back, he goes with it again, and the next time he tears it up, I think he retires. Or comes back as a B-level player if he wants to. I don't know if he wants to, but be like, hey, I'm all about what you need at the mid-card level. We can't trust my knees to stay healthy, so don't make grandioso long-term plans for me.
Well, if they
I'm
do
in,
make it like Roman,
yeah,
where he doesn't compete all year
right.
long.
Well, yeah, but this is the downside to being the workhorse for the past 15 years is that you put that mileage on those bodies. Like
Yeah.
we have a friend who was in his 20s, and I watched him tear up 2 knees and an Achilles before he was 28, essentially. And this is a workout freak, essentially. And it's just one of those bad luck things. Whereas Seth has worked on the main roster level scale. This was an indie wrestler. on a main roster level scale weekly, doing tons of, and then back when they had house shows, tons of house shows. So to get to the point where he is, I don't really consider him injury prone. I just think it's part of the game. When you play that many games or wrestle that many matches,
His
um,
body's just worn
it's going to
that
happen. Yeah.
that badly that it's just like now it's just you just it's just happening.
Right. Now there's some things you can do to try. We see that with Bailey. Bailey's trying to keep her knees as healthy as possible, not so much changing her style in the ring as much as her workout plans are changing. She put a cold tub in her gym. Um, Tons of band exercises. I don't remember if she's doing heat as well, but she might be doing heat as well so like she's going through all of the motions for recovery to intentionally try to prolong her career because she's had multiple knee injuries as well. I'm sure Seth puts in a ton of effort. I don't know if he's doing that for recovery yet or not. I imagine he would be, being a CrossFit guy, but yeah, I think he can do his best to prolong it. But I personally don't think he wants to change his style too much more. So I say come back the best you can and wing it if you're Seth.
Yeah. Well, good luck to him. However he does it.
They've got
Um,
he and Becky's got multiple lines of income, multiple career paths currently.
oh yeah.
This would be a tough one to give up. I don't think he ever has to give it up. I think he could have a career with some way related to wrestling if he wanted to. But I just get as healthy as possible and come back. And
keep wrestling until you get injured again. Fix it. Come back. Get
right,
injured
I think the
again.
only thing
Fix
that's going
it.
to
Come
happen
back.
is maybe tell Trips, hey, I can't be limited with your ideas for the long term storytelling because you just don't know with me. But this is what I worry about with TKO running the company now, though. Is do they start to reassess their talent like fighters? I worry
Oh
that this could affect a next contract for Seth because they look at maybe if they treat it the same way as they treat fighters, oh, you're over 30, your risk of injury goes up. And then if you're over 35, your risk of injury goes up again.
and then if you start looking injury prone, they kind of like cut you like it's just a real sport.
Right. And
It's
then
just
that's kind of what I foresee happening because they do things in usually fight lengths, 3 fight contracts, um, that type of deal. So now uh, they renegotiate these contracts in a different way where it's uh, less beneficial for the performer, let's say that, some way, shape, or form. But they do it more on age because of risk for injury. And it worked for the UFC because there's so many fighters after 2010 that want to get into this that
yeah.
they just have this endless supply of fighters that they can rotate out. And if someone hits with a popular knockout or popular submissions, you get a Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
you roll with it. But for every Conor McGregor, there's also 9 other fights on the card that week, that night. And so you just run the quantity until one guy or one woman sticks out, then you pull them in and they make their money, and you just keep running this quantity thing. I fear that WWE, because it's run by TKO, could eventually run its talent that way.
Yeah, that'd be not. I don't think that'd be too great for the industry.
I don't think so either, and I thought they'd get away from it, but then we talked. Then on Evolution, we had HBK talking about on the pre-show about how the women's division NXT is best bar none, which you can make that argument, but his point being is that when they started recruiting the top tier D1 level talent is across all the sports is when they really started to make this improvement, which I'd argue is the opposite of true.
Yeah, I
But
don't believe that.
but he talked about it as if that's still the game plan, and that to me scares me even more because I think Vince did it because he saw a look and thought we can mold this look into what we want as a wrestler.
Yeah.
I could see TKO doing it, going endless young talent coming out of college, the same way the NFL works. You know what I mean? Like every year the draft You have an unproven intern coming in to the NFL, and they're the hottest thing ever, essentially. You don't know if they're going to be good. They're unproven. They've not participated at that level of the sport.
Yeah.
They were fantastic in college. And I'm fearful that if you look at it as a real sport, they may take talent out of college and low, like other sports, as high athletes, and try to mold them that way. And if they do that, then they might be quicker to push out talent that we think is good, but maybe is slightly aging. 30 years old might become ancient essentially for WB eventually. I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah. God,
I think
that's
30 is ancient for NXT, and that's about it.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's really gonna kind of hurt the industry where we'll just. Well, I
If it
mean,
goes that way, I don't know if it's going to go that way.
if it would go that way, I mean, I can see it getting to another point where we're not watching WWE's main shows anymore.
It depends. It depends if they can cultivate that talent in a way. But as of right now, if you want me to make my best guess, do I think signing indie wrestlers for your main show like AEW is going to do with the Young Bucks and then Ospreys and Swerves versus Swerve also is in WWE, but that's a different story. Versus the top pole vaulter out of Wisconsin because they have a good look. I'm going to guess that other way is going to work better, but I don't know for sure what WWE is going to do. It struck me very odd that HBK talked about that strategy as if they're still doing it.
So, I mean, I could see it being maybe okay if they're pulling in some that come from
Right, you're
D1
talking like the
talent,
linebackers and stuff.
yeah, and whoever, and you just stick them around all these folks experience to coming up through the indies and just put them around all these people that have this big passion for it and help build that person like in this melting pot of all this talent and passion for the business, therefore hopefully making them as talented and passionate about what they're doing too, and it's just a natural growth and progression rather than just like go in there and pretend you're good at acting and all that, because essentially you need to be.
Right. Now, I see where you're coming from with that, and hopefully that's what happens. My fear when it always came to signing the athletes and not signing wrestlers
Mm-hmm.
was, man, everybody dreams of falling off the Hell in the Cell. Everybody
I
dreams.
don't, fuck that shit. I'm gonna die. You look at me. I'm too
that
thin. I don't have McFoley's padding. I'm gonna die.
like I would dream of that kind of stuff though. Give me that moment. Let me jump off the the TLC ladders. Let me, fall off the cell. Let me be Shane O'Mac apparently. But
Push me off like Rikishi's spot where it's just like
into the giant hay truck.
yeah, where it's just like, oh, that's there kind of obviously for a spot. I hated
Right.
that spot so fucking much. I still hate it.
Yeah.
People love that fucking spot. You're like, that was one of the best Hell in the Cell moments. I'm like, motherfucker, when I saw them put that fucking truck there, I'm like, it's gonna be a lame ass Mick Foley spot into that, and
Yeah.
all Undertaker did was push his best buddy pal.
Yeah. Canyon coming off the 3 stages of cages in WCW onto the ramp was a better spot than that, in my opinion.
That's kind of sickening. Ow.
Yeah. Yeah. But what was I going to say from there at the town? Oh, but the part that no one talks about, and either you love this or you don't, just depends on what kind of person you are.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know this right away, is all the travel.
Oh yeah.
The renting the cars, the getting on the planes, having to get to someplace you need to go next, the delays, the snowstorms, all the headaches that come with that stuff, the flat tires, the this, the that. When they sign them, they come to NXT, they drive to and from work like it's a 9 to 5. Like it's there. Like it's the same place.
Yeah.
The minute they hit the main roster, now they got to be dependent upon to go to said next show, do what they need to do, hit the signing, get to the next show after that, book the flight, go back home, check on the dog, go back to the next
Yeah.
show. And
And
it's a very different lifestyle. Whereas the indie wrestler lives it every
yes.
weekend. They're going someplace. They
Okay.
have to make the travel.
That's what I was hoping you were getting to, because if you
Yep.
were gonna make that point, I was about to. It's like, yeah,
Yep.
Indies would already have that going.
You're already
You would
accustomed to
wash
that.
you would wash out or be like, no, I can fucking do this. I think
Right.
that might be the thing. Like if we had wrestling schools around us at the time that we knew about at least, and tried that. I think that would be the one thing that'd probably make me kind of wash out because I didn't love the travel. But if I loved the business enough, I think maybe I would eat it. I don't know.
Well, part of what you have to do is in that situation is find a travel companion that you don't hate. That becomes a big part of it. If you can find the person you want to travel with. So
So what, you?
stables
We're
stables
gonna
and
be
tag
wrestlers,
teams.
goddammit. Travel with me.
Right. Tag teams work well for that too if you don't like to travel. If you find a tag team partner to go from place to place with.
Yeah.
Um, or we see a lot of couples in wrestling as well for a while at indie wrestling, and they travel place to place as a couple for that same reason. But yes, I think that's something else that I think when you take these Division One athletes, that you might not be understanding what you're getting into in that situation. It's all fun and games when you're at the performance center and you're doing the promos and you're going back and forth from there. But how long is that going to last once you have to hit the road and do all those other things? I don't know. I don't have an answer. We'll have to wait and see. And I don't even know if HBK is going to keep doing it that way. Just caught my attention when he talked before Evolution that the picking these people up out of D1 schools was so good for it. And I think Liv coming out of nowhere, Solruka with her athleticism are good examples. But outside of like a handful, it's been Jordan Grace, Julia, Stephanie, the Mariah May's character. I can't think of her name right now.
Oh.
They're signing people from other companies right now more so than the Division One talent.
Zarya, if you didn't say her.
Zaria. So what he talked about and what's actually happening seem like two different things. But what do I know?
That doesn't make sense. Where he's just like, yeah, Division One, and it's just like, it's not many of them.
Yeah.
Most of it are just passionate wrestlers that are here because they love the fucking industry.
Once upon a time, that was your guys' MO, but that doesn't seem to be the MO right now.
Yeah.
So
not with Vince gone.
Nope.
Okay.
So that takes us through the weekend into SmackDown. We got about 3 minutes.
Well,
not SmackDown, I mean, Raw.
Yeah. Do we even touch on Evolution? I don't think so. We were like Saturday Night Main Event into.
I talked about the pre, essentially.
The pre?
The pre for Evolution. That's the whole point with the indie wrestling and stuff like that was because HBK's talk was before Evolution.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah.
Evolution was good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good matches in that.
It was really good. The main event was phenomenal.
Yeah. You had brought up an interesting thought where it's just like, okay, Jade beats Naomi, and that'll probably be a thing where, Jade's going on the SummerSlam and Naomi to cash in on her there. I'm like, that's a pretty good idea. Bam! Like the next match, no, Naomi cashes in on fucking Io and Rhea's match.
They went away from the long-term storytelling with a slow burn and said, you know what? We're going to end that right now, and we're going to absolutely blow that up completely. And they did, because this sent Naomi away from Jade. So now you got Jade over there and Tiffy and Bianca all doing their thing. And you could see a headache with maybe Bianca and Jade. But they eliminated the long-term possibility of any more stuff with Jade and Naomi. And they said, Naomi, go flourish by yourself over here.
Yeah.
And I think that we've been seeing the evolution of Harley Naomi. I don't know what you call her, but she's pretty much Harley Quinn. Okay, she's going psycho.
Yeah.
Even the grins and the laughs and the briefcase. She's been opening the briefcase up and doing like stills before shows, and it's like action figures of Jimmy and fake like old school cartoon bombs and all kinds of crazy shit in there that she's been having fun with.
I
So
don't
she's
think I've
turned
been
full
seeing
Harley
that.
Quinn. Yeah, she's turned full Harley
I
Quinn.
missed that.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun. She had a lot of fun with that briefcase. So um, I think it's great. Now, this is a tough part where, man, I think her character is doing really well. I think if you leave her on SmackDown, I think there's a real chance she's the it player on SmackDown. And I think that would have probably been good for her character and her build of her character.
Uh huh.
I think moving her character, albeit very strong right now, in my opinion, to the Lion's Den that is Raw, that has Ripley, has Io, and then will once again have Liv Morgan.
And
She better be ready to just keep stepping her game up, because I think that's a much harder environment to stand out in as a woman right now.
is Bianca Belair still technically SmackDown or
I believe
Raw?
so, yes.
Okay. So with her cash in, she kind of, they kind of like,
They separated her from everything to do with her previous feud. She is
yeah,
gone. She's out of it.
they did that, but they also breathed air into the feud that, like this feud that was maybe going a little stale because we've been seeing a whole bunch where it's Io Ripley was Bianca Belair with it, but broken finger and getting taken out of that. My thought is like her getting moved, like Naomi getting moved into that. Does Bianca come back for any bit of that feud, or is it just Dave switch pieces and now Naomi's in that spot now? They just breathe new life into it.
I feel like that's what they're doing, but again, I feel like the women's division in Raw, and they're in the Raw brand, is just one. I don't want to say stronger, but I'm going to say stronger. Uh, just like I think the tag division is stronger in SmackDown. Um, Tiffy's great over in SmackDown. Bianca's gonna be great. Jade's great. Don't get me wrong, but the type of woman character they have on Raw, she fits that mold better. But I think she could have stood out better on SmackDown. What I'm getting at is, Mommy screams dominant woman character, literally to the point where she's always on top. Liv was another character that was flirtatious and in control at all times and screams sex appeal, so to speak. Stephanie Vicure has a move where she slams your face into the mat to have her own ass jiggle. Like she has. So Naomi has gone crazy with this character, and I love it. And she's acting more flirtatious, even if it's directly towards her own husband, which is fine. On Twitter and stuff like that, like she'll say like the only person that gets back shots on me is Big J, for example, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, even when she went to like raise the apron on the ring yesterday, the first time she went to do it, she did not bend at the knees at all. Like she like bent like she was touching her ankles essentially as she lifted it the first time.
Friday night they got that shot on Shotzi doing the same thing against Matt Cardona.
Mm-hmm.
It's just full on strip where you're like, oh, thank you, cameraman.
Yep.
Wasn't expecting that. Okay.
Yep. So she's got this appeal to her now, which fits the Raw roster. But I think if you leave her on SmackDown, I think Naomi's running SmackDown in a month. Like I think she has Raw woman level superstardom, but on SmackDown. And I think Tiffany has some of that, but I don't think Tiffany has the same edginess as 2/3 of Raw's roster.
Yeah, I'm in a weird place with Tiffy because I enjoy her. Her work's good, all that. Looks fine,
Right.
I don't have really any anything negative to say about her. It's just I'm at this level where I didn't get to see her in NXT, so I'm
Right.
missing that factor, and that's the key factor I think I'm missing in my understanding of her. Because right now, I've seen enough of her to be like, I just kind of don't get her popularity. Like I don't know what it is. Is
It's Barbie.
it's just that it's just she's life mold of Barbie and the catchphrase, and it's just really what it
It's
is.
that and her athleticism. She is good.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'm
absolutely.
with you. I'm not sold on, but I've never been sold on the Barbie character. Like, I was a Lita fan growing up, not a Trish fan. In hindsight, down the line
I
here,
like the both of those too.
I feel like Trish has had a better line of work, honestly.
Yeah.
And Trish has been I like the way she's lived her life in terms of like fitness and health and all this other stuff. At the time as a kid, though, I was a Lita fan over a Trish fan.
Trish and
Uh,
Lita scratch both itches for me, so I'm just like, yes, fight, 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 kiss,
I mean,
kiss, kiss.
out of Trish and somebody else, I picked Mickey.
Oh
I thought Mickey James was a better character than Trish. I missed the boat. I'm glad I wasn't in
well,
charge of talent relations
that's
at
because
14.
you like crazy.
Maybe a little.
I,
Daphne was fantastic.
I'm not gonna say the
R.I.P.
phrase,
Loves
but
Daphne. Um, maybe. I mean, there might be something to that.
a little bit.
Trish, I guess Trish always did seem rational the entire time. That may have been a problem for me,
uh,
but yeah, um, yeah, it's really that she's talented, and she's got the Barbie mold, and she's got the catchphrase, and it's that whole package is what people like about Tiffy. She's
yeah,
kind of like a more progressed through her career at her age, Trish.
got it.
So
Yeah, I guess it's just why her character doesn't speak to me because it's just a Barbie thing. And if that's what everyone's like really mostly latched onto, then um, I still get to sit here and go like, she's really good, she's
yep,
entertaining, and I don't need to necessarily get it. But if that's pretty much
I
it,
was
then I guess that's it.
same way with Tony Storm's Timeless Tony character. I love her press conferences. I love the way she speaks out of turn as this character from the 1930s, because the
Mm-hmm.
1930s, you're going to just say what you want to say anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the whole character just has that attitude about it. I enjoy that. Um, if you would have asked me if I would thought this was a good idea for her, I would have said no. Like it doesn't resonate with me,
oh
but I'm
like
100% on board that Timeless Tony is a phenomenon. It may not be my phenomenon, but it is one that it's fantastic. And I think
yeah,
that's the same way we feel with Tiffy, which is obviously it's beloved. And that's what you want, I guess, more than anything else in wrestling. That's what I want. I want to be able to love Rhea and Liv and Stephanie, but I also want there to be a variety of characters because I want everyone to relate. So people will relate to Tiffy, and that's great as well. But I'm not that person. I'm not going to relate to the Tiffys or the Trishas of the world because I just never have.
yeah, and that just really ends up being any of these organizations' job, whether it's WWE, AEW, and so on, to just listen to the crowd and go like, okay, we
Everybody wants
got,
to be represented.
well,
Everybody wants to feel someone that they can connect with, and Tiffy is that for a lot of people.
also to just pay attention and don't be blind to it and be like, I think we got something here. I might not
Oh
know what
yeah,
that fucking something is, but we got something. Let's
I
keep
mean
going.
something. I don't know what that something is. I mean, we may not relate to it, but it's a gorgeous blonde with an amazing
Well,
body that does moonsaults through the roof that has charisma. It's not hard to see what they have.
I meant that more generally speaking rather than directly speaking about those two blondes.
Okay, well,
I
I'm just
I meant
saying Tiffy's not hard to understand what they have.
yeah
It may not be for me, but it's not. It's like
yeah
I may
I
not be
mean
a big fan of gold, but I see it's gold.
I don't mind looking. I much rather root for Tiffy than fucking Flair.
Flair, here's the problem I have. I like Flair because I think she's probably a really good person.
Yeah, that
She
again.
seems like a very nice person that's supposed to play a stuck up character, and she's bad at it because I don't think she's stuck up enough. That's my take on it right now. She seems. I think this befriending Alexa is a much better gimmick for her because I feel like this will show through her personality better,
Yeah,
and I think that's a good thing for her. So,
fair enough.
so we're almost at the hour point, and we haven't even touched on uh, the battle royal. We haven't touched on Becky, Bailey, Lyra, and we haven't touched on anything on Raw.
Okay, quickly, Battle Royal. I'm just gonna touch on the end of that. Uh, I get left with both two of my girls for the finals, Lash Legend and Stephanie Vakir. Lash getting her hand stuck in the ropes. That seemed like that wasn't meant to happen, like an accident. I
Yep,
am very curious. Like, I called how they were going to kind of finish the move with Devil's Kiss on the
of
apron,
course.
and then like a kick with her foot towards the floor, which is exactly how that ended up going. I almost wonder if it was supposed to be like an over the top. Lash was supposed to go out, just a bigger girl trying to cream the smaller one, and the smaller one's dodgy enough to roll with it but not get taken out. I wonder if that was just a quick audible they just called right there, where it's just like devil's kiss, and
Could have
just
been.
do that, and then just because it looked like Lash was laying flat, like almost like she didn't know how to take the move, or just to play sort of like dead on the apron and just go for it.
Yeah,
I'm
could have
really
been.
curious if that could have been. I don't
Yeah,
know if I'll ever know, but
I mean, go to meet and greet and ask Lash.
I guess so. Or Stephanie.
Yep,
It might be hard to get answer, but no, she's doing pretty good with English
she
nowadays.
really is actually, but
Yeah. Okay,
they might
so
tell you. You'd be amazed by how often wrestlers, if you ask them normal human questions, will answer them for you in a realistic manner.
yeah.
Not all. Some will, stick to character, but some will be like, "Oh, this is a fan that's not insane. Awesome. Let's talk."
Yeah, it's just I'm curious about a thing. Like
Yeah.
no one's gonna fucking listen to me, and it ain't gonna go viral because I'm not gonna record it. I'm just gonna flat out ask like that.
I mean, they're literally putting out a show on Netflix that shows everything behind the scenes. I mean,
Yeah, true. But anyways, so with Raw, since we're almost already at an hour,
yep.
and anything really stand out too much to you?
Not really. I mean, we're still waiting on the announcement for the length of time on which Seth is going to be out. Sounds like they're just going to keep rolling with the Money in the Bank and just leave it be. Um,
I
so
mean,
not a whole lot to report there, not a
you
whole lot to
you
have a
wait all
response
year to
there.
cash in.
Yeah. Um, Judgment Day is interesting still.
Yeah.
Um, Dom, I think my favorite part of the entire show, honestly, was the backstage segment when uh, he's like, "When you are cleared, you are wrestling AJ," assuming SummerSlam, and they cut over to AJ on a knee praying, like, "Please clear him, God, please clear him." And Dom goes, "I'm not cleared yet," holding this thing, and goes, "And don't listen to him, God, don't listen to him," as he walks away. And AJ still doing this thing. Just ignore him. He's an idiot. Clear him. Have him be cleared. Have him be healthy.
Did you notice their earlier segment before the women's tag team match where they had they had WWE up on the
Yep.
on
And
the
JD
console?
made the tag match happen before it. Yeah.
Yeah, but did you see what the tag team partners were set at for the Judgment Day? Like right as the camera panned over to like see that screen, it was Raquel and Liv, and immediately once that showed on screen, he changed it off of Liv and started going through the Judgment Day and put it on
Well,
Roxanne
actually, I thought it
Perez.
was like a random screen at first. And then he did hesitate on Liv for a minute.
Yeah, well, from what I saw was as it panned over, you saw
Because he
Raquel
actually,
live.
I don't think there was anything on the screen at first. I was watching it, I looked at it, and then JD is the one who picks up the controller and sets the teams as Finn is talking. So, but maybe I'll have to double check it. But I thought they were pretty much empty. And I thought JD just hovered on Liv for a minute and then moved it to. But I have to rewatch it. But yeah, you're right. It's the whole. Either way, it's the whole Roxanne replacing Liv,
Yeah,
foreshadowing essentially.
yeah.
So
I think with the whole night, the most I was kind of intrigued with was the gauntlet match, and I was kind of, I, I was starting to kind of think they were actually gonna give it to Braun, but
same.
then,
Not gonna lie. In hindsight, it makes a lot of sense that Punk won, but I was sitting there going, oh, yeah, I'm cool with Braun winning it. And they're making him look strong. They did the whole thing with Gunther right beforehand. But in hindsight, I mean, there really aren't ever two bad guy versus bad guy type of a match at SummerSlam. That's not what they do. And so, no matter how good I think the match could have been, Punk being super over good guy versus Gunther makes way more sense.
yeah,
Uh, you know what I don't want?
why?
Punk to win the damn belt, keep it for like 6 months, and then have Seth cash in and wrestle him for the 400th time.
Uh,
They put on good matches. I just want to see new stories. Tell
yeah.
me a new story. So, but no, you might be right. I might want to rewatch that segment. But either way, with the Judgment Day, it did look like it was essentially foreshadowing that they're booting um, Live Out, so to speak, with Roxanne. What I thought was interesting is I got a notification on my phone earlier in the day that looked like Asuka. I don't know for sure if it was her channel. I didn't check into it. Made a post and the title was heading to SmackDown. I thought she'd be going to SmackDown from the sound of that. So when her match was against Judgment Day, when the Kabuki Warriors against Judgment Day, I wasn't ready for that. I
Um,
thought I thought they'd be moving those because it seems like now there's going to be a lot of moves after Naomi came to Raw, essentially.
yeah,
Because the women's division over here is kind of getting huge.
yeah, yeah. Maybe they do need to put some folks over on SmackDown, jumble some stuff around. They just
Kabuki Warriors,
they're not doing a
essentially.
draft this year, are they?
Nope, they've obviously decided not to do that.
They're just using that portal and just saying like it's just
They
open.
haven't even used the portal since. If they're going to bring up the portal, it'll be next month or the
Yeah,
very end of this month because that's when college football season starts back up again. So they can
gotcha,
bring in the portal because it will be in people's fresh minds because a fresher sense of their minds because of college football being back.
gotcha.
So,
Hmm.
but yeah, they I feel like they've just overstacked the Raw side with the women at this point. Roxanne, Raquel, Kabuki Warriors, Liv, Ripley, Naomi now, Io, um, Made in America chick. I can't think of her name. Ivy Nile.
Yeah.
Um, Maxine Dupree, I thought was still over on, but she might be on SmackDown. I'm not sure. Half
No,
that group is
well,
injured.
yeah, you're right because Otis was having the run in with Gunther, and now
Yeah,
Otis is injured. So yeah, you're right. It was Raw.
yeah. Maxine Dupree. I mean, it's just she
Yeah,
was getting trained by Natalia. So Natalia. I mean, like it's the list of women on this side is just huge.
it's kind of being overrun.
So Bailey, Becky. Becky's at a belt. She can go either way. Lyra.
Yeah,
I mean, this is all Raw.
yeah, that's a lot. I mean, on Raw.
So, and then meanwhile, Naya just keeps kicking Tiffy in the face over and over again, and Candace is hanging out with her husband, and that pretty much sums up what's going on in the women's division.
Yeah,
I mean, Bianca just came back, but I mean, Like they need to do some dispersing of talent. It's a little bit.
Yeah, Bianca's finger's still wrapped though. She's not.
Was
I
it?
don't.
I
Yeah, she's not still really back. I mean, she refereed, sure, but
okay.
her. I definitely saw her finger taped up. That's the first thing I noticed. So she ain't back.
Right. So yeah, they need to do some talent disbursement again. It's a little bit all over the place.
Yeah. Well,
Julia, I think, is on SmackDown.
yes, because she wanted to go to SmackDown,
Yep.
but
So yeah, that's. I guess the other big thing we should talk about real fast, at least, besides Punk winning the gauntlet, is
mhm.
Roman.
Oh yeah, Roman coming back. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the rumor was Roman was supposed to come back on Saturday night to deal with Seth, but then Seth's injury caused a pivot, and Roman didn't come back.
Yeah,
How true that is, I have no idea. Just something I've seen on Twitter and stuff.
it makes sense. I mean, him
Right.
getting injured and having to basically just go like, all right, tell him to give me his finisher and pin me, and I gotta get the fuck out of here. I just fucking tore something.
Yep.
So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Now I think you just set up the spear versus spear, the Breaker and Roman match for SummerSlam if you want.
Yeah, I think we're about due to actually see some possible like bloodline versus bloodline sort of
That's a
mix up sort of a thing going on again.
that seems like that's SmackDown right now, right?
Yes.
Well, I take that back. I actually thought we were about to see Bloodline versus Seth's group.
Well, now we might have to
Now I
pivot.
think we have to pivot.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing on SmackDown when Heyman pissed off Solo and Solo blamed Heyman for his loss was leading up to a Bloodline versus Seth Rollins group, but now I don't know if that can happen, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you keep it the way it is now. Maybe you have to pivot altogether. Maybe Solo's group. Man, Solo gets some bad luck, man. Because here's another chance for an epic storyline, and I think Solo's side actually loses out. Because Seth's group is now down to 2 members, and so it makes more sense for Roman the Wrestle Breaker than it does for any type of Solo's Bloodline versus Seth's group scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what you do with Solo's group now. I don't know. I guess you could team Jimmy and Roman and the other Tamatanga? The one that didn't have a torn tricep that I don't know where he's at right now.
Oh, uh, so Tongalo just came back.
Tamatanga?
Tamatanga, him.
Yeah.
I don't know what he like. What happened to him? What injury did he have? I know he's out with an injury.
I, I don't know what it is. He
I
was
don't
healthy
remember
for
what
the
it
longest
was.
time. He just couldn't wrestle because he could wrestle, but he wasn't part of his team because his partner was out with torn tricep.
Yeah.
So I guess you could kind of build some storylines around Bloodline versus Bloodline, but you got to get some of them back.
Well, I mean, you can kind of do a little bit of a thing now with Roman, maybe picking up Fatu, some sort of mutual respect thing. Jimmy coming in, and then you got a 3v3.
I mean, but the solos group is way bigger than three.
What's,
You got the
what's...
tall, you got the tall
Oh yeah,
Samoan.
he built up to it's the four of them.
Yeah,
Uh,
Solo.
you might have to pull in Jay with some sort of mutual respect thing where it's just like,
I mean, that might have been the handshake tonight,
yeah,
or the help up tonight, so to speak.
yeah, where it's just like, well, we just gotta unite doing our own things and we back each other rather than it all just being the tribal chief and everybody else starves.
Yeah, that might be it. That would make sense. And I don't know what you do with Breaker. LA Knight, maybe? I don't know what Knight's going to be doing anytime soon.
Well, I mean, you could still do
Also,
Roman versus Breaker, but have Solo's group interfering and getting in the way.
also, LA didn't make sense on this show, by the way.
No,
He's a SmackDown guy, ain't he?
I mean that might be so, but it's just a gauntlet to what is it? It's for a title shot at Gunther, right? So it's
Right.
just so you throw a bunch of people at him. So what if LA Knight gets it, well, he's got a chance to go after Gunther, whatever.
Right up, but he's on the wrong show for that.
Sure, but we just watched Naomi migrate, so
She did that with a briefcase.
well,
There was a way for that to happen.
He could do that with a title shot. I don't know.
She didn't win the briefcase on Raw, though.
I know, but LA Knight's got a history with Braun Breaker.
I know. I'm not saying that from a storyline with the competitor it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying, like, what's a good example here?
Is LA Knight SmackDown now?
Yeah, he's been SmackDown for the entire time.
Okay, you're probably right.
I'm 99% sure he's been on SmackDown.
How did Braun Breaker switch then?
It's a good question. I thought LA
Because
Knight
they were
was
on the
SmackDown.
same show together, and now they're separate. I don't friggin' know at this point.
Because LA Knight was just on SmackDown this previous time. Who did he just? Who was
like,
it?
What, Fighting Solo's group?
I thought so, because yeah, he was wrestling Fatu 110 times. It was Fatu Raw though. Why do I think of LA Knight on SmackDown? I put him on SmackDown all the time. Maybe he's not.
I don't know.
Maybe he's not, but I just have him on Smack. Okay, so he wrestled. Who was his most recent matches against? I guess maybe he's been on Raw. I don't know. It doesn't make sense in my head.
I don't know. I figure it's
Let's do some research. Think
question to
back.
be answered a number of time rather than us wasting time on it.
No, because anybody who did watch this far is going to call us a freaking idiot because I don't remember which one he's on. Like Thursday, he just wrestled this guy, this guy, this guy. What do you mean you don't know what show he's on?
Cut the show here. They yell at us in the comments.
That's fine. Just, you know what? You watched 20 hours of wrestling in 48 hours and tell me what you remember.
Yeah.
Dear God, there was so much this weekend. It was ridiculous. I didn't even watch NXT. Yeah, I need to figure that out. Where's the United States Championship at again? Isn't that fucking SmackDown? Isn't the U.S. title SmackDown? Isn't that where Nakamura was?
Yeah, no, it is SmackDown because Solo has it right now.
Right, and so he was going for that title back for the past forever. Against Nakamura, then against Solo, and then Fatu. So...
Yeah, okay, let's just say SmackDown, and he got this invitation on Raw to be in the gauntlet.
Oh, my only point, though, is this. He doesn't make sense there unless you're considering bringing him over for good.
Well, maybe that was a consideration, and he failed.
I feel like they're trying to be slick with their distribution of people, is what I'm getting at.
Not that slick. They're kind of stacking Raw.
Yeah, it's a real one-sided thing. I agree.
I'll bet.
Well, what also could be happening is some talent could be migrating over. And this just dawned on me. The past 2 weeks have been 2-hour-long shows. If SmackDown stays 2 hours, you can't have the same roster size.
That is true, yeah.
That just dawned on me as I was thinking about it just now. So it may be a thing where they're moving some people over only because they literally can't have that many people on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And they're quietly doing that.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, I'll have to keep watching. That's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
A lot of theories there. Nothing set in stone, but just something to keep an eye on. But
yeah, I'd say we can leave them at that.
Yeah. You know what? To be honest, an hour 15 for that much wrestling isn't bad. I feel like if it was a normal week, we'd have been done over a half hour ago.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't go AEW last. We'd still be talking about it.
It's possible. Again, it was a 13-hour day.
Yeah.
But
all right.
All right. It's been fun.
Yep.
Maybe we should have done this in 2 different segments, but uh, it is what it is. We'll pick up again at the very latest next Monday.
Yep.
All right. It's been fun. Until